Taking a look at the energy markets today, I want to focus on WTI today. WTI, another pretty decent move. We saw some selling pressure, down about 1% on the day. We saw this two-day rally basically extinguished here today after we saw last week. We did see WTI bouncing at the end of the week, but now some selling pressure pushing it back below 52. We saw it settle right around the 51.93 level for the day session. 52.74 was the high. 51.58 was the low, and again we continue to see WTI holding down here at the lower end of the range as we see over the weekend some of the dynamics within the oil space shifting back towards, I guess, what would be perceived maybe a little bit softer edge when you look at what's going on with the U.S.-Iranian situation and really what's going on in the Gulf with the issues of the Straits of Hormuz and getting the oil through there. We saw those tankers attack last week, and now over the weekend, the one thing that did come out was the Secretary Mike Pompeo indicated that they don't want to go to war with Iran, but they're going to do whatever they can to defend the free passage of oil through the Straits. And so at least that was not an escalation of what the market had witnessed last week, and I think that's part of the reason why we saw some of this selling pressure today in the WTI space. Couple that with the economic growth expectations. We had a very disappointing number this morning, a manufacturing number. We're heading into their Fed announcement later this week, and we got some disappointing numbers out of China late last week. And again, that's playing into the narrative that demand's going to languish as well as we continue to push through some what is perceived to be some economic slowing pressures based on the tariff situation, and also just the fact that we're seeing a slowing down in the U.S. as well. Also, I want to point out that as we move through this week, another interesting dynamic for WTI in the crude space is the OPEC plus negotiations and or meeting, and you're seeing a moving target there now, and I think that's another reason why we're seeing crude under some pressure here, because again that unified message appears to be not so unified right now. We're seeing that meeting that was scheduled for next week now being pushed out to possibly even the second week in July. So again, they have not settled on the exact date at this point, and we're still seeing Russia hedging a little bit as they move into that meeting on if they're going to continue with the production cuts. So all those dynamics, I think, to start this week is why we're seeing WTI down 1% on the day.